She's back to work today. She's back to work today. Monica Asher is back to work as principal at Orange High School. She got 3 days off. I don't know if she got a raise. I don't know if she got, a hug, but she's back at work. And here's the memo from Superintendent Todd Meyer last night. Dear Olentangy Orange High School parents, effective Tuesday, that's today, Monica Asher will return to her role as principal of Olentangy Orange High School. The district has conducted an investigation into the staff newsletter distributed by Principal Asher on November the 10th. As a reminder, the investigation took place because district policy requires employees to use discretion regarding controversial issues in their employment. Employees do not have unfettered free speech rights when serving in their official capacity. No, and the statement goes on to say that Monica Asher is supposed to maintain neutrality in our schools and classrooms on political campaigns, elections, and issues. While district staff are not required to forfeit free speech rights in their private lives, they are expected to remain respectful and never attempt to use their professional role to support or validate personal opinions. So you might be reading this and going, well, then why is she back at work? They go on to say, here you go. I told you, those big educational degrees don't go to waste for nothing. It took them a few days, and maybe they were subject to online suggestions, because I saw this in my social media responses, that Monica Asher's message wasn't divisive. Monica Asher's memo wasn't complaining, whining, triggered by the election of Donald Trump. No. That's how you read it. But what really happened, according to Todd Meyer, superintendent at Olentangy, is this, quoting again from his memo. We understand Principal Asher's intention was to remind our staff of the importance of unity and their shared commitment to creating a welcoming, inclusive environment for all. While Principal Asher violated our policies, she fully understands and acknowledges the negative impact of her message. And then they go on to wrap up. And so does this surprise me? No. Is it the right response to this issue? I think 3 days is a little light. Did I expect her to ever lose her job? Of course not. I said all along, she'd get a hug at minimum and a raise at maximum. And I'm sure quietly has been told, don't worry about it, Monica. We love you. We share your view. We know what you were trying to say. Winky, winky, winky. Here's the operative question to ask yourself. They won't ask this question publicly, but you and I both know. If Kamala Harris had won the election, would there have been a memo? Would there have been a memo about how I know you're all struggling to move forward? I can't write, this is her original newsletter, I can't write a message that pretends like the election didn't happen. Again, now we're in an alternate universe here. You're going back, you're flashing back 2 weeks ago today, actually 2 weeks ago tomorrow, because that's when I did the show telling you that Trump had won. Can you imagine she would have written a memo that said this if Kamala Harris had won the election as Trump won it? Won the popular vote, won all 7 swing states. Can you imagine that Monica Asher 4 days later would have written a memo saying this if Harris had won the election? I can't write a message that pretends like the election didn't happen, especially when so many of you are struggling with how to move forward. I know you are struggling with how to move forward with your students who are afraid, but also how to move forward with colleagues that don't share your views. There is no universe other than the one you make up in your own mind where she would have sent that memo if Kamala Harris had won the election. You know it. I know it. Todd Meyer knows it. The Olentangy School Board knows it. Every resident of the Olentangy District knows it. Everyone who has a brain knows it. She's back at work after 3 days off. And here is how she announced her return in a memo to Orange High School staff last night. This past week has been one of deep reflection for me. Please accept my sincere apology for the message contained within my State of the Pioneer staff newsletter sent November 10th and the negative impact it had. I never want to hurt any of you at any time. My reflection has also allowed me to focus on my leadership and communication. I recognize a more appropriate message would have acknowledged the staff and student concerns being voiced within our school building and reminded all of us of our duty to remain neutral and nonpartisan. Yes, in compliance with district policy. She goes on. It is my responsibility to maintain our focus on academic content standards and enforcement of the student code of conduct. Yes, yes, that is your job. Yes, that is what I said. That her memo delved into politics, hinted at politics, approached politics, whichever one of those you want to say it did. It did, one of those. And what, as I said at the time, does that have to do with anything she's charged with doing? Anything she's charged with accomplishing on behalf of the Olentangy School District, which pays her $175,000 a year. Does it have anything to do with educating students? No, it doesn't. Does it have anything to do with relating to staff? No, it doesn't. Does it have anything to do with staying on budget? Whatever the parameters are that the treasurer of the district charges her to do with her building? No, it does not. It had no place at all in her communication with the staff. And for that, despite a warning in the summertime in a staff memo that the election is coming up and don't go over this line, she willfully went over the line. Am I to believe that she just woke up 3, 4, 5 days after the election and wrote that memo on the weekend without giving it some serious thought on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday before she sent it out? No, of course not. She thought about it and decided she had to address it. And for that, she got 3 days. She got 3 days. So there's where we are. Monica Asher's back at work. None of us are surprised. There would have been, had there been, which is hard to envision, a high school principal at Orange, at Liberty, at Berlin, or at just plain Olentangy High School who was a rabid Trump supporter, even if they didn't send a staff memo, if they wore a MAGA hat to school after the election, you think they'd be back at work in 3 days?